All right, y'all. So if you haven't noticed, shit has gotten very real lately. I mean, you have the illegal and offensive attack against Venezuela, the carpet bombing of Caracas, the abducting and kidnapping of Maduro. Just absolutely psychotic. Trump openly saying it's about the oil. You have the bombing of Iran, the potential to bomb Iran again. The Greenland situation where Trump wants to literally steal Greenland and break up NATO and lose all of our allies in the EU, the threatening of Mexico and Cuba and Colombia and Panama. Things have really, really fucking fallen apart. And that's to say nothing of, the ICE Gestapo thugs and how they're now shooting innocent women in the face multiple times, sending the U.S. military to invade U.S. cities. It's really a soft civil war where red America is invading blue America. That's what it is. That's what it is. And on top of all that, you have the most corrupt regime we've ever seen, ever, and it's not even close. Trump is literally focusing on, building the Epstein Memorial Ballroom, funded by billionaires, destroying the East Wing of the White House, redesigning the Lincoln bathroom, building the Arc de Trump. He's focusing on all that shit at the same time that inflation's going up, unemployment's going up, the American people are hurting, workers are getting absolutely squeezed, and he's sending $40 billion to Argentina and saying we're going to run Gaza and run Venezuela. So it is just, to say shit is out of hand is an understatement. But guess what? It actually gets worse, because look at this from the New York Times. Trump regrets not seizing voting machines after the 2020 election. In an interview, the president said he should not have ordered the National Guard to take the machines. He should have ordered, the National Guard to take the machines to find evidence of fraud, but added that the Guard might not have had the sophistication to do so. So, this is exactly what I warned you about. I told you that if Trump gets back in the White House, Trump 2.0 is going to be way worse than Trump 1.0. And my reasoning was, now he only wants yes men around him. Do you understand that? So now he wants nobody to push back in any way, shape, or form. And he wants people who are total sycophants who got around him because they're the most subservient and the most loyal and tell him what he wants to hear. In the first term, for all of the first term's flaws, and there were fucking many, you had plenty of people who were willing to stand up to say, you know what, I don't necessarily agree with that. You have Steve Mnuchin is just one example. You have Gary Cohn is another example. You have Jim Mattis is another example. Mark Esper is another example. You got a lot of these guys who they generally agreed with Trump's conservative politics, but whenever Trump wanted to do something that went a little too far, that was a little too insane, a little too extreme, invoking the Insurrection Act over the Black Lives Matter protesters or shooting protesters in the leg, he had people there to say, we don't do that this way, sir. Well, now it's the exact opposite. You have Stephen Miller, you have Russ Vought, you have Secretary of War Crimes Pete Kegsbreth. You got all these people, and all they do is, say that he's amazing and he's awesome and his farts smell like roses and he's never done anything wrong or made any bad decision ever. And now Trump is beginning to think about, well, where do we go from here? What happens in 2026? What happens in 2028? And as many people have pointed out, myself included, they're moving like there will never be elections again. They're acting like, for example, opening a criminal investigation into the Federal Reserve Chair. What the fuck is that? What is that? So you're going to try to oust this guy, lower interest rates, which will lead to massive inflation, which will hurt your party's chances of winning, but you probably know all that, but you don't care. You're still trying to do it anyway. What the fuck is that? Well, this is what that is. If he's, I should have seized the voting machines in 2020. I should have seized them. This was one of the most extreme scenarios that was on the table from General Flynn, that fucking psychopath, and Rudy Giuliani when they were trying to lie and say that the election was stolen. One of the things he was told to do is declare martial law, seize the voting machines, do a recount, and then declare victory. Because remember, they had all these theories. Maduro helped Biden steal the election. What the fuck is that? And by the way, I kid you not, I guarantee you, because there's reason to believe this, people from within the federal government are showing signs of this. They say they're trying to get Maduro to do that still right now. They're trying to get him to agree to admit, oh, I helped Biden steal the election. And then Trump will give him a lighter sentence if he says that. Similar to how, like, he had Ghislaine Maxwell say, oh, Trump didn't do anything wrong, and then he basically let her go from an actual prison to, like, a resort. Same shit here with Maduro. This is how loathsome this guy is. This is how much of a fucking degenerate, cretin, lying scumbag he is. And now he's openly saying, I should have seized the voting machines. But he also says, I don't know if they have the sophistication to actually do the recount. In other words, this time I won't be unprepared. This time I'll fucking have somebody who can do the recount. I'm sure in the same way that he brought somebody in for the Bureau of Labor Statistics that gives the right numbers, in other words, lies about the state of the economy, makes it look better than it is, he's going to have somebody in this position too. So I need you to understand, guys, where we're at. That this is a guy who he already tried to steal the election last time. I mean, Jack Smith was charging him with conspiracy to defraud the United States by lying about the vote tallies, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights, throwing out legal votes, basically. And he had the evidence. Jack Smith himself said a conviction was definitely coming. He said Trump was 100% going to prison. He tried to steal the election. He knew he was trying to steal the election. He knew he had lost the election, but he was still trying to stay in power. It was over. And now you have him saying, I should have stayed in power back then. I should have fucking seized the voting machines. So you're telling me 2026, they might just not seat, when the Democrats win in a landslide, because they will, they might just not seat the Democrats. They might find some bullshit excuse and say, we're just not going to seat them because we reject the numbers. Right? And if it's not, maybe he will sit in for the midterms, but then come 2028, they'll rig it. Guys, there's nothing these people won't do. We literally just watched them illegally and offensively invade Venezuela, carpet bomb Caracas, kill a bunch of grandmas, fucking kidnap the leader, and now they're doing a total embargo, not allowing any oil in or out, starving an entire country. They're trying to starve an entire country of innocent people. And I'm supposed to believe they'll draw any line? He already tried to steal an election. You're telling me he won't do it again? I'm sure they're planning on doing it again. So wake up, wakey, wakey. Everybody needs to get the fuck up and understand what's going on here. This country is falling apart. It is falling apart. And they are laying the groundwork for a fucking revolution. Because if they don't understand that this motherfucker is... There will be consequences. If you don't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. That, like, you can only demand so much. You can only push so far before something fucking snaps. And this country will fucking snap. They won't allow his bullshit to go on for much longer. So I'm just warning you, man. People need to wake the fuck up. People need to wake the fuck up. They are plotting. They are planning. They are getting to it. And it could get very, very, very ugly. And it is going to. But people need to be aware of all this. Now, finally, I'll show you guys this. I saw this the other day, and I wanted to share it with you. If you are a postal worker, comment below if this is true. I do not know if this is true, but there's talk about this all over the place, including on social media. Listen to this.
Well, this can't be good at all. So apparently postal workers were given this letter on January 5th, 2026. Subject line, postal service employees continue to provide essential services. Keyword essential. Are you ready for this? It states during large-scale emergencies, epidemics, hurricanes, civil unrest, etc., states and localities may issue curfew orders or other directives restricting travel and other commercial and personal activities. Even if the state or local action does not contain such an exemption, the postal service's operations are governed by federal law. Therefore, they are essential. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Employees and contractors should carry the essential services letter with them as they perform duties for the Postal Service and travel to and from work. It is critical that all employees and contractors carry their postal ID badge with them at all times. If encountered or stopped by the state or local law enforcement officials enforcing travel restrictions, the postal worker or contractor should identify themselves as a Postal Service employee, show the official their postal issue ID badge, and provide a copy of the letter with this information to the official. What is going on? This is real, people. Really fucking scary. Travel restrictions? Essential employees? I'm not going to say it, but I think we all know what ML is. Travel restrictions? Curfews? This is not good.
So here's the question, right? Are they already planning on invoking martial law? You know, and they could use whatever fucking excuse they want to use. They could use there's unrest in Minneapolis, Minnesota over ICE shooting people in the face, and now the people have risen up and we declare them terrorists and they're unlawfully assembling. They're going to have their bullshit. But, like, are they already planning on invoking martial law, on doing the Insurrection Act, and on, maybe doing that around the election? Again, to say, well, we're going to postpone the election because we can't do it now. They got something up their sleeve, bro. They got something up their sleeve, and I don't even want to know what it is.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.